Hello and welcome to Nikolai's genetics lessons, and today's problem is: consider a gene with two possible alleles A1 and A2. Shown below are the numbers of the three genotypes in three different populations. Calculate the frequency of alleles A1 and A2 for each of the three populations. So this is population A, and this is frequency of the genotype, which is A1, A1. This is not frequency, this is absolute numbers, number of individuals, and this is going to be number of individuals who is going to be heterozygous, A1, A2, and this column represents number of individuals whose genotype A2, A2. So how to find how many A1 alleles and how many A2 alleles we have here. So basically what we can do, we can multiply this number that represent number of individuals by 2, because each individual would have two alleles A1 here. But we can eliminate this step, because if we multiply this number by 2, this number by 2, and this number by 2, proportions between all these three numbers would stay the same. For example, if I have 2 apples and you have 4 apples, you have twice as many apples as I have. But if we will increase these numbers by 2, so I would have 4 apples, you would have 8 apples, you still would have twice as many apples as I have. So it doesn't make sense for frequency calculation. So what we can do, we know that individuals here has one allele that is A1 and the other allele that is A2. That means that half of this number would be A1 allele and half of this number would be A2 allele. So we just can add half of this number to this number, and this is going to be number of A1 alleles, and we also can add half of this number to this number, and this is going to be number of A2 alleles. So let's do it. So calculation for population A. So we are going to get 20 plus 1/2 of 40, that is going to be also 20, and this would give us 40, and this is going to be absolute number of alleles A1. And also we have to add half of this number to this number of A2 alleles, and we are going to get, so 40 plus 20, this is going to be 60 number of A2 allele in A population. So it's very easy, we even don't have to do any other calculations. We can say that if total number of alleles would be 40 plus 60 would be 100, and 40 would represent A1 allele, we can say that frequency of the alleles in this population would be 40% of A1 allele and 60% of A2 allele. Let's now consider population B. So population B, our calculations would be as follows. So we have 30 alleles A1, so 30 alleles A1 plus individuals who is going to be heterozygous. So out of this 8, half would be A1 allele and half would be A2 allele. So plus 4, and this would give us 34 A1 alleles in this population. And in this population we also have 12 individuals who is going to have genotype A2, so 12 plus 1/2 of this number would give us 16. So 12 plus 4 would give us 16. This is number of A2 alleles. And now we have to find the frequency. Once again, in this case we also don't need a calculator. 34 plus 16 would give us 50. If we multiply this number by 2, we are going to get 100. So that gives us frequency of the allele A1 as 68. So 68% would be frequency of the allele A1, and 32% would be frequency of the allele A2. And now let's consider the last population, population C. We have number of A2 alleles 72 plus half of this number, that is A1, A2. So we would have 72 plus 61, and total number of A1 alleles would be 133. So this is going to be number of A1 alleles. And number of A2 alleles would be 91 plus 61, which is half of the number of the heterozygotes, and we are going to get 152. So this is going to be A2 alleles, but this is not frequencies, yes, this is just proportion. 133 of A1 allele to 152 of A2 allele. We need one more step. This time we have to use calculator. So how to find frequency of A1 allele? We have to divide 133 by total number of alleles. That is going to be 133 plus 152. So we have to divide 133 by 285, and the answer would be 0.47 or 47%. If we know now frequency of the A1 allele, we can say that frequency of the A2 allele would be 53%, because we have here only two alleles. If one allele would make 47%, we instantly know that the frequency of the A2 allele would be 53%. And I hope my explanation were clear enough. Now you would be able to solve analogous problems if you would see such problem on your exam. And this is all for today. Thank you for your attention. Please subscribe for my new videos that I post almost every day. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please write your comments, questions if you have any. Share this video with your classmates. And see you in the next video. Goodbye.